Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to another episode of the Euro Cooking Canuck. Once again, thanks so very much for joining me. A big hello and welcome to my new subscribers, and a hello and welcome back to all of my current subscribers. Thank you so much for your loyalty. Guys, on today's segment of Memories of Malta, we're going to be making something called capunata, or caponata. Caponata is very popular in this part of the Mediterranean, i.e. Sicily and Malta especially. Now, caponata has its roots from Spain, apparently. What this basically is, guys, is an aubergine or eggplant relish. And when things were tough and tight for money, this was a great way to preserve these vegetables due to the sugar and vinegar. But I'm going to show you, it's lovely. You can eat this on its own, on crusty bread, or with fish, or with meat, or in a salad, or even in a sandwich. So guys, without further ado, let's get in the kitchen and make the most beautiful Maltese Mediterranean caponata. Amen. Hey guys, as usual, welcome to the kitchen countertop. And as usual, all of the ingredients and the amounts will be below. Click on Show More. So the first thing we have obviously are our aubergine or eggplants. Now guys, when you're picking an eggplant, you should pick one that's very dark and shiny, and it should be very light for its size and have kind of a hollow sound when you tap on it. Now with eggplants, guys, some people say that they're bitter. Usually the bitter ones are the females, and on the bottom there'll be like a divot or a dimple. The males have less seeds, and they have more of a protrusion on the bottom. So try and find a male. However, we are going to still treat these for any bitterness. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove the top, and be careful because this could be quite spiky. Make sure you wash them, and then you're going to cut them in about, maybe inch pieces. And then with each piece, you want to cube it, but making sure that a piece of the skin is still attached. The reason being is it gives the eggplant something to hang on to and won't turn to complete mush. So I'm going to completely cut all of these, and then I'll show you what I do next. Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you my eggplant and how there are little to no seeds at all, because this is the male. So again, try and get the male if you can, but we're still going to combat that any lingering bitterness that there may be. Now, an aubergine or eggplant should smell like a raw banana and be very fresh and very light. They do absorb a lot of oil. So what we're going to do is, I'm only going to use the one eggplant because I only need 500 grams. I'm going to shove these in my colander, and then what we're going to do is we're going to liberally, and I mean liberally, salt these with some sea salt. What this is going to do will draw out the moisture and any bitterness of the eggplant. Give these a toss, and then just sit it in your sink and let it hang out, and all of the liquid will leach out of it. Give it about a half hour, guys, and I'll be right back and show you what's next. Guys, while our eggplant are resting in the sink with the salt, you're going to go ahead and start prepping your other vegetables that you're going to need. Some onion, some pepper. Now you can use a green pepper and a red pepper, but I have a massive one here, which is kind of variegated, so I have the best of both worlds, but feel free to use one of each, and some garlic. So I'm just going to go ahead and chop this, guys. You know, you've seen me do it before. Just chop up the peppers and onions into a large dice, and I'll show you that. Alright guys, my peppers and onions are all cut up, and I did cut them into small pieces. As you can see, they're in fairly large chunks. It should be a bit chunky. My garlic, again, it wasn't a fine mince. I just roughly chopped it. And then optionally, guys, you can add some celery. Normally it would be the center, softer or younger, I should say, stalks of celery. Guys, I just want to mention caponata. There is as many versions as there are cooks in Malta, region to region, and even in that region, household to household. And that goes for Sicily as well. So I'm giving you the basic Maltese version, which is also quite similar to the Sicilian version. However, you can add other vegetables to this if you like, but this is pretty much the traditional Maltese caponata. Alright, so everything here is chopped. It's time to check on our eggplant, and I'll show you what I do with that. Alright guys, so what I've gone ahead and done is I've given the aubergine a quick rinse, tossed it around in the sink just to remove all that excess salt. You see they've shrunk down a bit because the salt has leached out a lot of the liquid and hopefully the bitterness. What you want to do is just to make sure your eggplant is dry. So I'm going to pat this with some kitchen towel, paper towel. Make sure it's somewhat dry, and then I'll bring you back. Alright guys, into my pan here I have put some really good aromatic olive oil. I'm going to let this heat up a little bit. Slowly coming, and I'm going to add my aubergine or eggplants. I'm not adding any seasoning at this point as far as salt goes. I want to taste it later because the aubergine were salted liberally, as you remember. So on a gentle heat, guys, go ahead and get some color on your eggplant, and I'll bring you back then. Alright guys, you just want a bit of color on the aubergine. They're starting to get soft, so I'm going to turn this off. And using a slotted spoon, I'm using a plastic spatula not to scrape my pan. And we're going to remove the aubergine and set aside on a kitchen towel lined plate. Again, you just want a bit of color. They're going to further cook, so they don't have to be cooked all the way through. So I'm going to remove these, and I'll show you what we do next. So using the same pan, guys, and the same oil, turn your heat back on, and now add the peppers and the onions. Go ahead and add the celery. Hold back on the garlic for now. Again, I'm not seasoning this because there was a lot of salt in the aubergine and there's more to come with other ingredients. So we're going to start to saute these until they get soft. If you need to add a little bit more olive oil, do so, and then I'll bring you back. So guys, my veggies are starting to slightly soften, and just test one. They should be tender crisp. At this point, add your garlic. And give that a minute or two. Guys, at this point, I can smell the garlic. The veggies are getting more tender. So I'm going to go ahead now and add some chopped tomatoes. Guys, if you do not have fresh chopped tomatoes, please feel free to use a can of diced tomatoes. That's fine. Juice and all. Give this a mix for a few moments, and I'll show you what I do then. Okay guys, I've turned the heat off because at this point, my tomatoes, peppers, onions, and celery are quite soft, and it smells great. So I'm going to just set this aside for a moment so I can get my pot. And what I want to do is add this into my pot. You could do this all in a very large skillet as well. It doesn't really matter, guys. But I took my pot out. All in. And then you're going to add back in your aubergine. Now we're going to season with some cracked black pepper. If you like it spicy, you can put some hot chili flakes, or even use a small hot chili pepper when you're sautéing the peppers and onions. Wonderful. I'm then going to add some conserva or tomato paste. Now, how much of this you add is dependent on you and how much you like your tomato paste. Guys, always have some water on the standby. In case this dries out, you can add a little bit of water as needed. And same goes with your conserva. You can always add more. Now, Maltese conserva, or tomato paste, is already a little sweet. If you're using more of a bitter tomato paste, you may want to add more sugar than I'm adding, but I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons. Then I'm going to add some red wine vinegar. And again, guys, all the amounts will be below. I know how much I'm putting in, but I will put the exact measurements below. So now you have a salty, sweet, and sour. So go ahead, turn your heat back on low, very low. And we're going to want to simmer this now gently for a little bit. And then we're going to come back and give it a taste and see if we need to add salt. But we are still going to add a salty element to our caponata. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So guys, as you can see, I let my caponata simmer for just a bit, about a half hour, and it's gotten nice and thick, and it's somewhat dried up a bit. It's still very moist. I don't know if you can see the bottom of the pan. You don't want it soupy, guys, but you don't want it super dry. I'm really happy with my consistency, but if you need a little bit more liquid, as I said, add a dab of water, just a dab as you go, okay? At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add a salty element. I have some black olives here, guys. You can use green, but black are more traditional, and mine are whole and pitted. I do have homemade olives, but they have the stone in them, and it's kind of hard to eat this with the stones in the olives. So I'm going to go ahead and add the black olives. You can slice these, or I'm just going to keep them whole. That's how I like it. And there you go. And you can always add more than what I'm adding. Then you're going to add some kapir or kapar capers, guys. These happen to be my homemade kapar. If you like, I shall link at the end of the video how you can make your own capers. So I didn't rinse these. They're going in because I haven't added any salt from the original salted eggplant from the beginning, which was rinsed. So we may need to add more salt, but this will help. And there you go. Give this a mix. And we're going to allow this now to simmer gently for just a little bit. And our caponata should all be ready. And I'll show you what that looks like when we're all done. I will give this a taste, adjust my seasoning if needed, and then we'll plate up, guys. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and let this simmer a bit more, and I've tasted my caponata. I've decided, yes, it did need a little bit more salt. So what I did was I added a bit of the brine from the capers, which you can do. And then you can add a little pinch of salt, whatever you like. So I'm going to turn my heat off now, because this is basically done. Guys, like anything like this, it's way better the next day. This can be served hot, cold, or room temperature, and it stays really well jarred in the fridge. So at this point, what I'm going to go ahead and do is add some fresh torn basil. You can also add some mint if you like, or a combo, which would be really nice. So I'm going to give this a stir. Let the basil heat through and wilt a bit. And then we'll serve it up, guys. See you in a bit. Hey guys, our caponata's all done. I've served it up in a traditional Maltese bowl. I have some beautiful hubs of Maltese bread, which is so lovely and crunchy and crusty and beautiful. I have jabaigne with the pepper. It's a softer version. It's absolutely lovely. I'm going to enjoy this with it. Guys, I just love this like this. But you can put this on, like I said, meat, fish, in a salad, in a sandwich. It's really up to you. It can be served hot, cold, room temperature. It's always better the next day after you've served it, obviously, or made it rather, like a lot of things. But I'm going to go ahead and serve myself a bit. Well, I'm piling it up actually. I'm going to try it on its own first. Wow. That's so good. So freaking good, guys. I'm going to try a bit of this jabaigne Maltese cheeselet. It's very soft, this one, guys. Oh, wow. Guys, you need to try caponata today. It is so versatile. It's so good. Guys, I'm going to love you and leave you because I want to eat this. Please like, share this video, and I love all your comments, as you know. My Facebook page will be below. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love you to. And we'll see you next time on the Memories of Malta. There'll be a few pics to follow as usual, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Ciao, ciao!